Nissa la bella. Welcome back everyone. We are traveling to the south of France as things get warmer. I want more salads. So we are going to Nice and we're going to make a delicious salad niçoise. It has been super popular over the 20th century. It's originally made with olive oil, but the adaptation has been more with a dressing. It is full of goodies, potatoes, tomatoes, olives, anchovies, and tuna. It's not just a salad, it's a meal in itself. Two things remain to be done. For us to get cooking and for you, as always, to smash the subscribe button. Let's go! Alright, the key to good salad niçoise is the ingredients. You really want to get them at their prime, good tuna, some delicious potatoes, anchovies. Everything has to be high quality. That's super key. And we're going to start with the baby potatoes. I'm going to place them in a saucepan with my aromatics. I'm using thyme, rosemary, and a bit of garlic. And we're going to add some salt, and I use coarse. And then we're going to add water just to cover. We're going to cook them until they are fork tender. You should be able to insert a knife and it should come out clean. Then you know it's cooked. We're then going to drain them, let them cool down at room temperature, and we're going to halve them and put them on a tray for later. Next, we're going to work on the lettuce. So we are going to remove the core of the lettuce. I'm going to pinch my blade about only 1 or 2 inches down, so I'm not going to stab my offhand, right? So you have to stay very safe. We're going to remove that. Make sure we don't waste those little leaves. They are probably my favorite, so crunchy and sweet. We'll then peel the lettuce off. I don't want to break down. You could cut them up, but I kind of like the whole leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove them individually, then place them in water, give them a really good wash. We'll then place them in a salad spinner and then dry them off. If you don't have one, you can just put them on absorbing paper. Make sure you remove as much water as possible. We'll then set it aside. Next, the tuna. I'm using albacore tuna. You could use Haï tuna as well, or even some canned tunas if you don't have it. Then I'm going to season it with some Lebanese 7 spice from my friend Joel, as well as some salt. You can choose whatever spice you want. I'm going to heat up a cast iron with some olive oil on medium high heat, and I'm going to cook it for about 45 seconds on each side. It will give us a medium tuna. You can cook it less or cook it more, up to your liking. I will then place it onto a tray. Make sure we remove as much fat as possible. And then once cooled down, we're going to slice it about a 1/4 inch thick and we're going to set it aside. You can see the albacore is still juicy and not too dry. Next, we're going to work on the green beans. I'm going to blanch them in some salted boiling water. And then when they are just al dente, they still have a bit of a crunch. I will then place them on ice water. Make sure you remove them as soon as they are cold. We don't want to lose any of their flavors. I will then cut them into thirds and set them aside on my tray on absorbing paper to remove the moisture. Next, the egg. Make sure you use as high quality eggs as possible. And we're going to cook them for 10 minutes, no more, into boiling water. Once cooked, I'm going to place them in ice water, let them cool them down fully. And we are going to peel them by just simply put them on a cutting board, roll them around to crack the shells, and then simply peel them under water. You are going to see it is so easy. It's going to peel right off. You can give them a good rinse and you are happy with some beautiful boiled egg. Now it's time to cut them. We're going to cut them in 1/4, and that's the kind of yolk you want to see. You don't want to see anything green around it. This is the perfect way to cook them. We are then going to season them with some black pepper as well as some finishing salt. I'm using fleur de sel. Next, we are going to take a shallot and we'll remove the top and tail, peel them off, and we are today simply going to slice it, okay? I make sure it's not too thin, not too thick, but that's good just like that. We're gonna start working on dressing, and for the dressing I'm gonna use some Maille Dijon. This one actually has tarragon flavor, and some balsamic from Maille as well. I'm gonna mix that together, add some salt and pepper, and we're gonna slowly emulsify it with some extra virgin olive oil until we have a nice consistency. It should be thick, but also not too thick. Next, the tomatoes, very important. They have to be sun-kissed and delicious. I'm using some heirloom tomatoes and some technique as we did on the salad. We're going to pinch our knife about 1 inch down to remove the core, and we are now going to starve ourselves. Then we're going to cut them into wedges, as thick or as thin as you wish, and we're going to set them aside for later after we obviously give them a good round of salt and pepper. Otherwise, you're not going to have a great tomatoes. Now it's time to add up everything into a bowl, starting with the lettuce. We are going to add as well our shallots that we cut earlier, some of the dressing. We're also going to add some black pepper and some finishing salt. Once again, I'm using some fleur de sel. We're going to give that a good mix, make sure we're not breaking it down, trying to be as gentle as possible. I will then plate that into a bowl. Because I'm doing it individually, you could also do it in a big salad bowl. Next, I'm going to add my green beans, olive, and potatoes that I've seasoned, my tomatoes also seasoned and in the dressing, and finally we're going to top it up with our eggs that we did not mix in the dressing, as well as the tuna that is still nice and moist, our delicious white anchovies. We're going to finish with a squeeze of lemon, and that's it.
And here we have it, a delicious salad, very filling, amazing flavor. We are getting to late spring, early summer. This is going to hit all the cafe, I promise you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and you'll find a recipe in the description below as always. You know what's next, I'm about to try this, so I will see you soon on another episode.